No, we never ever leave. Run the show, whoa, whoa, enemies. Never know, whoa, whoa. Got it all locked down. We don't
I was kind of falling into that trap of like too many conversations that weren't going anywhere, at like avoiding the work at all cost. And I was almost using a lot of the groups I was a part of to like be insecure. Like, oh, I need more information before I make this decision.
Okay.
Oh, I have to do this. So I kind of figured that out, and I was leaning on you like a lot. And I was like, everything that you told me, I was like, dude, I know that.
Yeah,
Like, I need to go off on my own and go do the damn thing. And then when I come back, I can come back with a force and be a part of the team again.
exactly. Like information was out there, right? And you knew what you gotta do. And you're just like insecure about, oh, if I do this, what's gonna happen next? Like just do the first step, and the second step, like can come ask, like pick to different people.
Right. Right. And I didn't know that yet. I was too novice. So and plus having a daughter and things like that, like I've had to really like time blocking has been a big thing for me, making sure that everybody feels, loved and appreciated while the business is also being loved and appreciated.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. But nice, man. You're a family man now.
Yeah, 100%. How's life been for you, man? How did 2024 shape up for you?
24 was good. Not my best year per se on the business end. On life end, I would say it's pretty stable. On the business end, it wasn't my best year, but I learned a lot, and that just helped me create a stronger 2025. I believe it will help me at least.
Of course. Like, of course. And you either learn or you win, right? Like there's nothing in between.
Exactly. Great
Um,
mindset.
Yeah, you and I are both talk to business owners like all day long. And I'm sure you've heard that objection to moving forward just as much as I have. Oh, 2024 was just so hard for me. Uh,
Mhm.
when you kind of hear somebody struggled in 2024 and they want to make a move into 2025, like what do you tell them to do?
Usually go over and see why they're actually having a problem in 2024, because there should be a reason. Like, did they stop? Like, let's say it's a business that I want to work with and run advertisements for. Like, what were they doing in 2023? Are they putting the same effort? Did they change something? And what was the reason that they feel like 2024 wasn't a good year? They could, if they start saying like all interest rates or like economy, those are like, yeah, those are true, but maybe like if you were doing more than what we were doing like 2 years ago, you would be in a better situation. So my thing will be is like, I try to understand what did they do wrong, and kind of use that as a pain point, and like, you did this wrong. And if you want to do any same mistake again, like we should do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's crazy how like one of the hats you have to wear as working in marketing is coaching and consulting. Like
Yeah. I
you're
love that
based
part though. Yeah. That part is way more fun than creating marketing campaigns or even sales.
I'm glad you think so. I don't have fun with that part. I do everything I can to like get all the coaching out within the first call. So by the time we're like deep into service, I've handled all that already. And then of course I'm looking to hire somebody to help me on that just cuz I don't want to be all the hat wearer anymore. But that's something that you are currently doing, right? Like you're wearing all the hats.
I mean, I am not, and I also am like, I work with a lot of people. Like, let's say I have like videographers, I have editors, I have website designers, and but most of the time, anything client face, it goes through me. And yeah, it's the hardest part of the business. I can say that because like I've been doing marketing for 5 years, but I wasn't dealing with clients for 5 years, right? So like I have way better experience on marketing. I know I can get chalets. I know the like, but I don't know if you can convert them. So that's the hardest part for me right now. I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more, like those client facing area. But just it depends on the person and the business too. Some people's mindsets are too hard to break, and like sometimes I feel like I don't even want to do this. Like if you had that mindset, I shouldn't be the one that's telling you.
Oh, are you there? Oh, what just happened? Okay, cool. So we were
What
talking.
was that, man?
What was
Hello?
that? Before it cut out there, we were talking about negative mindsets going into the new year. People are kind of feeling drained that 2024 was just kind of kicked their ass. And now going into the new year, they're having a hard time breaking that. So how would you help somebody get over that?
Yeah, it's about understanding actually what they did wrong last year. 2024 wasn't an easy year for anyone, including me. Like even I told you that like 2024 wasn't a good year for business, at least for me. But I know that the problem was me. It was not like, I was doing the same effort, but I wasn't getting the results. I wasn't putting the same result. I was trying to launch a couple different businesses and dropping ideas to ideas, and that just hurt my productivity. Some of them worked well, but some of them didn't. And that just didn't make up the difference. If I stick in my like actual business that I've been doing for 5 years, it will be definitely different for me. And like when it comes to solve that, it's just like understanding and like kind of talking to them, hey, like happened to me as well. Like I didn't have a good 2024 too, but I know what the reasoning is. Like I'm trying to understand your reasoning too, so I can actually break that wall of like interest rates and all that type of stuff and say, hey, interest that wasn't the biggest issue. Actually, you were the biggest issue, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and getting to that point where you've built up enough rapport and trust with somebody to be like, "Hey, actually the problem isn't X, Y, and Z, it's just Y, O, U."
Yeah. And like, it's like such a big ego thing when you try to explain that to some persons. I think for everyone, if you told me before this call, hey, like you were suck at 2 and 4 because you didn't do a good job, I'm like, I would get hurt. So it's important that language actually stays very friendly, in between you. It could really, really hurt the relationship between the potential client. So it's easier to say stuff like this to people face to face environments, but when it's online, people get triggered way easier.
Real quick. Real quick, you get basically blocked on Meta for saying that these days.
Yeah. Like, you know what happened the other day? One of my sales calls, I've been talking to this real estate broker and like, trying to sign him for my program, right? He's like, hey, have you done something like this? And I showed him an example of a person that we're currently working and doing something similar. And he just logged off so quickly. He's like, oh, I don't want to work with you. You're working with that guy. And like, he just get angry at me and block me. I'm like, I'm trying to show you something. I don't know why you're so offensive or offended about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, he was looking for any excuse to get off that call.
Probably that's the reason why I didn't even try to reach back out to him. I just said, hey, sorry if I did anything wrong, but it was for the good because if I signed him, he could show that face somewhere else
Yeah.
and that will be a bigger trouble for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd said before, and I actually don't know any of this about you. I don't know how you got into marketing, your background, where you grew up, or anything about that. So I think before we go any further, like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. So I'm actually from Turkey. I'm born and raised in there, and I moved to Canada about 5 years ago. I'm originally a civil engineer. I wanted to do a kind of career change when I came here. It was right at COVID times. Back at that time, I just needed a job. I was going to school, like online school, of course. So I wasn't doing much. But I found this freelancing job at a fast food store in my area, and the owner of that store was a real estate broker. And he called me like a month after that I started working. And hey, like, are you looking for a job? I'm like, of course, whatever, just give me a job, right? I started working at a real estate brokerage. It took me a couple of years working there, to understand marketing fully. Then I just quit and started doing my agency. And at that time, I met with Dylan and all the other people from our group, actually. And we started to build our businesses together. And it's been almost 3 years now. We're in 2025. I've been doing my marketing agency, mostly working with their realtors until this time. Of course, I work with different niches as well, like construction people. I've done that a lot. And I'm trying to dabble into content creation for local businesses as well. So that's what I'm doing.
Man, so you've been running at this 5 years and you came from being a civil engineer?
Yeah, that was a crazy change.
Yeah. Yeah, like why that's so polar opposite of the two things going from like a very kind of cookie cutter position, you know what you're going to do every day to I solve every problem under the sun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the ads part of it, the lead generation part of it is very analytical. And I kind of like that part. But what get me into it was my old roommate. He was doing digital marketing. I was seeing what he was doing and I was trying to find and land a job, right? And like, I kind of learned from him, watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Of course, you know, the route, you'll watch a
Yeah.
bunch of gurus, uh, say telling you you're going to make millions if you do this. I
Yep.
believe it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's how we bet, man.
Exactly. So I get into it and dig deeper into it, find a job and kind of stick to it because I didn't have any other chance. And I grew up to like it even more every day. And now once you like do something good, I think you start to like it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You can be doing any job. If you're good at it and you like it, realize that I was good at it. So I'm like, okay, I'll stick to this and see what I can do.
Yeah, was it an easy decision just for you to say, "Yeah, this is I'm quitting. This is what I do now?"
No, it was really hard, but like one problem was like I was getting paid dog shit rate, like it was almost minimum wage, and I was traveling like 2 hours a day. Like it's like Toronto traffic is crazy to be honest. It was like normally 20-minute ride. It was taking me a lot, and I was getting frustrated a lot. And I talked to the boss, the broker, told him that like I want to do this and that, and like he was kind of not agreeing with my opinions about like what we were on digital. And that was just the first drop. And then I started to ask for more money because what I realized is I was like managing around 50 real estate agents. I said, hey, like I can take 5 agents from here, work them like privately and make maybe 4 times more. And at those times are like my getting, trying to wake up times of those
Yeah,
who
yeah.
almost $1 million, $7 a month and stuff. I'm like, I don't even have to make 10,000. I can even like make 5,000 and I would be better situation at than this. And like, it wasn't too hard. I did plan it. It was still scary. I did a lot of work until like I came to that point, like probably first 6 to 8 months of my business building. I was just like working on the business in the mornings and afternoons. I was going and driving for Uber just to like make enough money because I was making maybe 2,000 every month out of the business and subsidize the rest with freelance Uber gig. But yeah, that's how I get into it. It was hard. It's not getting any easier, but at least right now I know more, so I know what I'm going to do on every step.
Yeah, I like how you said it's not getting any easier, and you're basically just getting stronger. You're
Yeah.
developing skills that are allowing you to overcome more complex problem in a faster amount of time.
Yeah, it's like a video game where you get like, when you level up, you'll see like bigger bosses and harder episodes and all that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So you came over here 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you started a business pretty shortly within the first year or 2 of being over here.
I would say, yeah, in my third year, I started my business. So end of
Okay.
my second year.
Okay, so end of your second year, your roommate's doing digital marketing. What was kind of going through your head when you're like, I'm gonna leave this. Like I'm ready now. Like what does that decision process even look like for those wondering like, okay, he told me it was scary. I'm scared shitless, but what are the steps to getting to leaving this shithole job?
Yeah, like to be honest, like you did something similar too. I remember those times.
I did.
So like to be honest, it wasn't like it was always on my mind that I want to do my own business. One of the reasons why I choose to be a civil engineer because I would like to be like a builder or something.
Hmm.
But it was like a kind of a long shot, and like so what happened was like I knew at back of my mind want to do something for myself and set up my own schedule, make more money potentially. And I was keep talking about it. And at that time, I had a girlfriend, and she's like, I told her I want to do this, and she's like, what are you waiting for then? Like, how old are you? I'm like 25, 24, right? She's like, yeah, just do it then. Like, why are you waiting? I'm like, makes sense. Then
Mm.
I would probably just do it. I asked, of course, ask around a couple more people that I trust their opinions. Just do it. Like, what can you lose? You can find another job like 3 months later. In the meantime, like, you can still make some money. I'm like, okay, makes sense. So I'm just gonna try it. I just gave myself 6 months because that, like, I saved up some money. And I say, okay, this money will be barely enough for me for 6 months. At the 5 month point, I was about to like go to Indeed and Glassdoor and start looking for jobs.
Yep.
Even though I was making probably like 2, 3 grand at that time, which is like close to my how much I was making at my last job. But what happened on the 6 month, I don't know. Like it, would you can say it was just luck, or like it just the continuation of my all of my efforts on last 5 months. I landed like two huge clients on kind of hit 10 grand month mark, and that day, like literally the 6 month or like 6 month anniversary of my me dropping my job, hit like I would say 10 grand a month, and that day I said, okay, yeah, I think I'm doing this my whole life. I'm not going back to the job.
Oh, man, it just goes to show that what all of the gurus might be full of shit a lot of the time. But one thing that is said from Alex Hormozy, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone is if you put a time limit on something, you're going to achieve it within that time limit. And I'm starting kind of a religious journey, and I'm starting to realize like God kind of tests you. He's like,
Hmm.
really? 6 months? Okay, we're gonna do 5 months and 29 days until I
Yeah,
give you that, just to test your will a
yeah.
little bit. And just like you, and honestly, just like I just talked to Mason on Sunday morning, he has a similar story. And then I talked to Dylan last week. Similar kind of story. If you put a timeline on something, you are going to be tested right until that moment, asking, are you sure you want to do this? Or can you just go back to that job? That's an amazing story, man. So what comes next? You made it to 10K a month. You're feeling good, obviously. Now you've tasted that little bit of success. What do you do? What are your next steps now?
Yeah, when I feel that, like I was on top of the roll for maybe like 12 hours, because next day, same work day again. Okay, like I see more zeros on my bank account, but like
Yep.
thing changed. So like I gotta do something different. I gotta automate it. I gotta have better assistants. I gotta be better at managing people. I was still, I would say, a rookie at marketing too, because I was doing it, but like doing for a couple different people that are paying you a good amount, and it's way different. Sorry, way different than doing like working for a company. Yeah, I deep dive into that, and I built my businesses stronger. But I believe I scaled like 20, 25 grand in like next 3 months after that. And then I kind of stayed there for a while. Then I got like a message from Dylan, hey, do you want to join that? What we're doing, like coaching aspects of that, which how we met. And like,
Yeah.
I get into that a little bit. And yeah, that was the next
Yeah.
steps.
That I like your story specifically because I like how there was no big like change that happened. It's like, okay, you made a little bit of money. You're like, okay, I know it. The day restarts, same work day the next day. You're really, really good. And you're one of the few people I've talked to on a regular basis that you never live in your wins or your losses for more than, I don't know, a half an hour or
Yeah.
even when we were talking every single day and you were coaching me, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I closed a sale." And within 10 minutes, you were talking about the next thing that you had to do, next goal that you're hitting. And always really admired about that. Would you say that's important to somebody trying to start a business?
Yeah. I think it's like staying consistent, right? Because I could lose like 10 grand that day, but tomorrow I gotta do the same to win back that 10 grand, or I can make 10 grand again, and like I gotta make 10 more now, or like I gotta deliver what I actually promised people. So I think that mindset was really helpful. And I developed that mindset in that I would say 6 month period of my business. because that made me understand that like if I go back to work tomorrow, I can make 10 more in the next 6 months.
Right. Right. So I want to shift a little bit. Something that I've noticed about you as soon as you hopped on camera, dude, you've lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, bro. I've been working on it. Like, to be honest, I wasn't like overweight. Like I was slightly overweight, maybe you would say 10 pounds. Everyone always say, hey, if I lose 10 pounds, I would be fit. I was in that situation just before I started working at home and working for, yeah, it's just hurt my, how to say, product, like walking. I don't walk. I don't usually go to gym too much, but like, just because having less activity during the day helped me gain a lot of weight. Yeah, I like to eat as well. That's another part of it. But what I'm doing is this year, especially, like I'm trying to actually get back to my regular weight, which is like pounds 190 pounds. I lost like 20. Hopefully, trying to lose another 20
Dang,
or
dude.
30.
Dude, that's great, man. Congratulations. I know when we last time like we had a really long conversation, you were telling me, yeah, I'm starting to take my health a little bit more seriously. I'm starting to go to the gym and things like that. And that was one of your things. And dude, you look great.
I appreciate it, bro. I'm not even halfway done, man.
Good. Well, knowing you, you're never halfway done. You're always going to have some new goal. How important is taking care of your health when running a business or trying to start a business?
Bro, it just like you forget about everything else about your health. Like you don't care about your health, but business is all in your mind, right? Because you're by yourself and you're doing business, you're talking to clients, delivering their work, whatever you're doing, any type of business. I think it's great for mental health. If you wake up and or maybe you are like night type of person, but doesn't matter. If you wake up, can activate your body, go to gym, maybe walk or grab a coffee instead of taking your car, just walk to the coffee shop, right? I mean, those small things clear your mind up so much. Like your next 3 to 6 hours going to be like 2 times more effective. That's what I realized. I wasn't like when I started working on in the morning, even like it's just walking. I start to realize that I'm not blurry anymore. I'm just like, I know what I'm going to do next.
Huh. I haven't heard anybody say that yet. That makes sense though. Like just to clear your mind. And I notice if I don't go to the gym in the morning or if I don't take a walk or get outside by like noon, I am antsy, almost to the point where I feel like I chugged a Red Bull or something. It's like I got
Yeah.
all this energy and I can't think. And going to the gym or taking a walk in silence is the important part, is the only thing that can reset that. And I was talking to Mason. Mason has an interesting perspective on this. He thinks, or for him, he is way less productive with any sort of physical activity. He's
Okay.
like, I can't even think about going to the gym until my 12 hours are done.
Well, that's another way to look at it because some people are night people, right? Like they
That's true.
wake up, they start to work, and their biggest challenge that day is working. Once their work is done, like they can go to the gym, like relax and work out. For me, it's the opposite. I need to clear my mind first because I don't know why, to be honest. It's just like I'm like more like a morning person when it comes to working out because when it's 8 p.m. and business is like done, I don't want to go to gym anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm supposed to transition to going to the gym at night next week, and I'm
Good luck with
dreading it.
that.
Yeah, thanks.
I,
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. I start at 7 every day. I go 7 to noon, and then I hang out with my daughter for an hour. And then I go about 1 to 4 for like normal stuff. And then I normally have a podcast. And then at 8 o'clock, my jujitsu gym just opened up a kickboxing and jujitsu class Monday through Friday at 8 to 9. And I'm like, baby's asleep, wife is asleep, the house is quiet. Perfect. I can go get some training in.
Yeah, it's great that you're like shaping your day depending on your family and like that's just what business is, right? It's like in one part it's actually really like probably 10 times harder than working somewhere. But like stuff like this, like you be able to play with your daughter 1 hour a day in the middle of your day, it's just like something at a different level.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's worth like even if I were to have to go like back to, some sort of position where, I could work from home or hang out with my daughter or whatever, like I'm not giving up that portion of it. I'll
Yeah.
do whatever it takes, even if it's doing to drive Uber late at night all night long. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to sacrifice time with my wife or time with my daughter.
That's amazing that you can do that, bro.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are going to be listening to this. One, there are a lot of real estate agents. That's who a lot of my target market is, that are feeling the same way that I am about sacrificing time with their family or things like that. And they're always feeling like, oh, do I have to go back to a job? Do I have time for this? When it comes to like time blocking and taking care of kind of your 4 buckets, which are health, wealth, love, and faith, like how do
Mhm.
you prioritize those things within your life?
Yeah, you talk about time blocking, right? That's what I do as well. Like maybe it's not like I'm not perfect at it. I'm not like doing everything time by time, but I know when I wake up at 7:30 usually, at least I try to. Some days are different than others, and which is normal. If you wake up at 9 a.m. that day instead of 7:30, you're not gonna like finish up, like forget about all your routine and do something else. So do whatever you can, right? Like instead of
Got it.
going to gym for an hour, you just go for 15 minutes and come back and start working again. Yeah, you lose an hour, but you still feel great. And tomorrow you can reset it. Like that part is important, like time block, and like don't get affected if you cannot keep it at least for first couple of months. I live by my Google Calendar now. I put everything in there, and like, yeah, sometimes like a meeting comes through and I just like, I cannot do what it says in my routine, but I don't mind it. I'll just do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's an important part that you just hit on, that nobody will ever say that, like, when people talk about time blocking and like all these different effects of productivity, everybody thinks immediately they have to do it perfect for months. Otherwise they won't succeed. And like the truth is none of us are perfect at it. Not even
Yeah.
close.
It's about like 1 out of 365, right? Like normally you're doing zero, but that year you did like 12 and 13 didn't work. Like, don't leave it there. Like, do the 14th day, go back at it.
Exactly. Exactly. I know I'm super guilty of this, is I'd watch, I don't know, some Alex Hormozy video or something like that and be like, if you do this for 30 days, then you will get this result. And then I'd miss a day, 4 days in. Like, oh, there goes the whole thing. But that's just not true. When he's saying do this for 30 days, he's saying make it possible to do it for 30 days. And it's okay if you miss a day. Just recover and keep going.
Yeah. Like, if you like, don't miss the whole day. Let's say it's like on my diet, this might help me a lot as well. And sometimes I just order like Uber Eats at 11 p.m. at night, but tomorrow I still eat like bananas or eggs,
Right.
right? Like, don't just go over and order one more. It's
Yeah.
just same situation. If you miss your routine, if you didn't do stuff that you didn't do, just that's fine. Don't react like alcoholics, right? They are like they're stop drinking and they drink one time and they go back at it full time. Yeah, you drink one time. Tomorrow, don't drink. Yesterday you drank and you don't usually drink.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Oh, there's going to be some pissed off people. But I agree with you. It's not all or nothing. What is it? What's the saying in Star Wars? Only Siths deal in absolutes. It's like at the end of the day, we're human, man. Like that's it.
Exactly.
So if there's anybody listening out there that you're 7 days into the new year and you've already missed the gym 2 days in, or you've already haven't hit those goals, so just keep it moving, guys. Like you got this. We're 7 days in. Got a lot of time left.
Like, I think if people stop like thinking about like New Year is the date that year they're gonna change their life, it doesn't happen that way. Like, if you want to change their life and it's 22nd of like let's say December, right? Like, start tomorrow, start today. Why are you waiting 7 more days?
Exactly. Exactly. New year, new me is just a myth that
Yeah,
brokies talk about.
yeah. Like, it just gives you time to do more bad habits. And like, it just don't think about like 365 days, 1 year, like 5 year. It's just today and tomorrow. If you're doing a bad habit today, you shouldn't do it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you said that when you were getting into digital marketing, things like that, you had a roommate that was kind of doing some digital marketing.
Yeah.
How important is it to have a community around you that's doing the same?
just not my roommate too, right? The communities that I join a lot of them. And I believe like RSC was the most successful one for me. Surrounding you with hungry people with the same mindset as you. I think that matters a lot because like you cannot slack on work because there's two other people doing the same thing. And like at the end of the day or end of the week, when you have that call and they ask, hey, how is your week going? You can, oh, I didn't do shit. You cannot say that. You're kind of like, of course, you're giving you promise to yourself, but you promise to somebody outside is a little bit stronger if you don't have those routines and stuff that you didn't figure out yet, right? So I think community is everything. Whatever you're doing, if you're working a job, you're a real estate agent, like just get into those communities with the like-minded people. They're trying to do the same thing as you. Can help you when you have a question or you can help them vice versa, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's such a catch-22 because when you're starting a business or even when you first find your first little bit of success, it's such a good feeling, but it's also such a lonely journey. Because most of your family members aren't going to understand unless they started businesses or done something similar. Your friends are going to call you batshit crazy. At least the ones that you grow up with. So you kind of feel like you're kind of this black sheep. And then all of a sudden you're in like a Discord channel or something of 20 dudes that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're normal. And not only are you normal, you're like the worst out of them. And you're like, oh my gosh, my people are
Yeah.
here. How would somebody even go about getting into the right rooms with the right people?
I mean, one of the things that being outgoing is something like there's a lot of community online too. It's just like if you can, I don't know, if you can find those, just get in and try it, see how you're gonna like the people. And I've done a lot of those, and like one of them, right? It's just see about you. If you want to get better at something, you gotta get like some outside help that works on your business now. It's like I've been dealing with like some like business people. Let's say I have a brokerage that I'm working with, and the owner of the brokerage, and she's probably doing a couple million a year by herself. She was saying that like I get here because like I get those helps from coaches and other business owners, because that's how it works in business. If you try to do a lone wolf and try to do everything by yourself, it's gonna take you 5 years. But I have 20 people with me. Take me 6 months to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's truly who and not how you do something.
Exactly. It just, you need the help. Like, even though you don't want to say it to yourself and you can take, hey, I can do it by myself. But yeah, you probably can, but it's just be harder and taking longer.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure these days if anybody could truly do it alone. I'm not sure that's possible anymore just because there's so much tech out there. Um, and again, it also, if you never battle that ego in the beginning of having to ask for help now, you're never going to be able to do it later on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's easier to ask question when you don't know anything about it because people be like, okay, he's new, like, and let's try to help him, right? But if you're already somewhat successful and consider yourself as successful, it will be really hard for you to ask that question of, hey, how can I do this?
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it's so backwards from what like business people are perceived as. We ask for more help than the average dumb person does.
True.
And my buddy Brian Lubin says, like, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And like that video game quote too, like just like what you were talking about earlier, like you get to the end of level 1, you're immediately into level 2 and you're the worst again. And
Yeah,
it's just name
exactly.
of the
You're the
game.
last person to get into level 2 now. And
Yeah.
just like waters, okay, I gotta do level 3 now. And same as business.
Yeah. Does having any sort of like strong religious background or anything like that play a part in your business at all or play a part to keep you grounded?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself too religious. I'm like, I am religious, but not like in an extensive level. I'm Muslim, and I like to do things that my family taught me, and most of the time. I wouldn't call it have a different way of running my business, but it's more like about mindset, like forgetting and forgiving type of mindset. that helped me, just get rid of, let's say we talk about it earlier on this call, that like I just get over my wins and losses so quickly. I think that might be just one part of why actually I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, the it seems like we're in a transitional period, like as a world right now, where younger men, like people at our age, ourselves, are finding religion in a new way. And like I am absolutely a part of that. And just from the last like 3 months of starting to learn, and I have never been a religious person. I believe in myself and myself only. That has been, and there's been something stopping me where it's like, if I don't believe in something higher, then how can I possibly understand what's going to happen? And I'm noticing just from the 3 months that I've been practicing, there's a clarity there. There's a sense of you're good, dude, where I would normally get antsy. I'm chill, and I get it now. So to anybody that's maybe, like, considering a faith out there or maybe has been with faith and losing faith, like, would you say that it's important to at least have some sort of scaffolding in your life to keep you grounded so you don't go off the deep end in either way?
Yeah, I think having something to rely on, put your back on, is really helps you, and helps you a lot with anxiety and clarity as well. I think if you having those problems and you're running a business, you're not sure about yourself, your future, and all that. I think you should try a little bit more religious approach to see if that help you. Like I know if you get into it, it will help you,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to get people into it. Just try it and you won't lose anything.
Yeah, and 6 months ago, I would have called you a loon, but now it's just one of those things that you can't ignore it, and life has genuinely gotten better or I've become stronger. Either one, I'm happy with it. I'm fascinated with how people's approach, especially since you've been growing pretty rapidly, even though you felt like this year was kind of slower for you. Like I've been watching, you're doing all the things that you set out to do. I'm always curious on how people go about managing, their faith, their religion, whatever that may be. So what's next for you, Ismail?
Yeah, I think one course is just working on bigger projects and helping people in a more effective way. Like I would say my last 2 years was still my business rookie years, right? Like I feel more confident in what I'm doing. I feel confident on like business deals, marketing campaigns, everything that I'm doing on my business. I just want to level up and get to the next level that I play with big boys.
Who are the big boys?
It's
What's the
just
goal?
maybe like working with companies and people that are in a different mindset, like getting into those type of businesses, like working with billionaires, millionaires, those type of things that are inspiring me right now. And that's what I'm getting after. It's kind of like what we talk about, what type of like room that you get into is just determines who you are. So I'm trying to get into those rooms so I can become one of them, which is, I think that will be my goal in the high level.
Yeah, I like that. Find yourself a few $1 million rooms, a few $1 billion rooms, right? If you have multiple millionaires in there. Yeah, I like that goal. I think I'm gonna something that we wanted to do this year is our word for the family is like elevate. We want to elevate all four aspects of our life. And that's one of the things is since we have a daughter now, we have all these places that we can go to where there can be high value people. It just depends on where you go. So basically, we're going to leverage our daughter to go meet higher value people so we can be in the same rooms with people and build relationships.
So
Yeah, man, I like that plan and it's free too, which is the craziest part.
yeah,
Like it costs $0 to go to the park and have a conversation.
exactly. Like just one call, one email, one random event that can set your life in a different track. And you just gotta be out there. You just gotta chase it so you can, when you find the opportunity, you can actually close it.
Yeah, absolutely. So is your main like ICP right now a real estate agents?
I would say, yeah, more like brokerages,
Okay.
and I
So
would say
teams.
teams, brokerages, builders, maybe renovation companies. Those are my main ICP for 2025.
Okay, so what can those type of avatars or those types of businesses do to boost their marketing in 2025?
I mean, I think one of the things they're doing that and they shouldn't do is just using cookie cutter ways to market themselves, like any other business. Those businesses are there because they have a key difference. Others that are making couple thousand, couple hundred thousand, right? They're making millions because they're way better or they're a bit different than other people. I think they gotta focus on their strong suits and try to attract people that way.
So, like, if someone were to focus on their strong suits, like, what does that mean exactly? 'Cause I was taught funnel hacking.
Yeah, like, so this is the thing, right? If you're a real estate agent, everyone, let's say I'll talk about ads and everyone is doing, let's say, home valuations or everyone is doing like a home list and stuff. And like,
Yep.
you're getting all the same people that are like mildly interested in something. And like, I know that's not what you want. If you go around branding, creating more videos, create a personal branding, just don't go and try to sell every house. Try to help with one type of client, but be best at it, like little niche down, focus on that. I think that will be step that take it to the next level. Some businesses and I would say real estate agents done that and they be successful and would like to work with those type of people or people who are open to be more get into that category. Like they know what you gotta do, what they need a little bit help. Like, yeah, of course I can help. But if you're like an everything and anything guy, I mean, you would do okay, but you wouldn't be in that next level.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing the things that are hitting most on social media is it doesn't seem to be the high edited videos anymore. It doesn't seem to be these like 15-second super processed edited. It's more like a 45-second video of a dude in his car talking about some experience that he's just had and they get 10 million views.
It's because it's authentic, right?
Hmm.
It's all about authenticity. Authenticity. I can't say that word, but
Dude, it's late.
it is. And I've been talking all day. It's
Yeah, me
I
too.
did probably like 6, 7 meetings a day. But yeah, it's like it's all about that. And that's why I said like pick your niche and be different and be better, right? That just actually matters. And like, some of the companies that are there already done that, but they don't realize it. Wow. And it comes to their marketing efforts. Like
Yeah.
look at what you're doing outside of your marketing. Try to put it into the same goal and same vision into your marketing. That's when your marketing campaigns will be very different and successful than others.
Yeah, it's crazy. You'll meet some crazy creative people with super cool businesses. And be like, okay, let me see your Facebook page. And it's some like poorly made Canva designed. Like, what happened? Well, some guy told me to make it like this. But you're brilliant. Why aren't you using that?
Yeah, I think it just people don't realize. I think it's about like they don't know marketing too much as well. That just affects their way of judging the marketing person or company they're hiring. It just like look at this stuff like how can you bring up my good sides and how are you open to that? Because marketing environment always changes. Like
Yeah.
2 years ago, those highly edited videos, they were done fine. They were crazy, right? And what changes? You gotta follow it. And I know you're a business owner and you probably can. So you gotta find some people that can do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to that who, not how thing for
Yeah.
sure.
And it comes down to hiring, right? How much of a good talent that you can attract and how can you like actually see which one is better than the other?
Yep. Yep. So for an agent that is going, and I want to circle this back to what we were talking about at the beginning. Agent, maybe they're brand new or they closed no deals this past year. Their lead generation is suffering. What are the steps that they need to take this month to really have a successful 2025?
I mean, if they didn't close any deal in the last 12 months, I think they gotta focus back on their sales efforts and lead generation efforts, right? Because pretty sure they had leads if they were active in the market. I'm not talking about people that had just have real estate license and just like using whenever they feel like it. I'm talking about like full-time people and didn't do, let's say, at least more than 4 jobs a year. I would say like relearn everything that you learned. Like start try to generate your leads in a different way if that didn't work out for you and try to get better at sales. I know market also really important in real estate sales because you cannot like convince someone to buy a $1 million house They gotta have the budget and interest rates and everything is actually matters. But still, like you gotta be doing something bit different and you gotta do way more than what we were doing last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you say it's better to be different or is
I
it
would
better
say
to
yeah,
be better?
it's like being different. Both of them are good, but being different is always gonna create some type of advantage with all your competitors.
Especially when trying to generate leads, right?
Exactly. If you just like copy and paste whatever what other people are doing, and they might be doing good, but you don't know how is their sales process look like. You don't know how much they're pitching. You don't know what type of people they're talking. It's just like copying and pasting is good in some way, like not copying and pasting, like learning from others and like try to take strong side of other businesses marketing aspects. But like if you rely on that 100%, it's better if you don't do anything. At least you don't waste your dollars.
Yeah. 100%. And then last, I always end every single interview with one question. One piece of advice, whether it's business advice, it doesn't matter who it's going to, but somebody come up on the streets to you and say, Ismail, dude, I need your help starting a business. What is one piece of advice that you would give that person?
I mean, find something that you think you're good at it, like at least you're enjoying and stay consistent. Just about consistency when it comes to the business. Yeah, we talked about this couple minutes ago, but like if you're doing, if you're not doing anything today and you're not hitting your goals today, you gotta get back to it tomorrow because at the end of the 6 month period, you'll see, and out of those like 200 days, you did well 150 days, they're gonna matter. The 50 bad days, it's not gonna matter. So one piece of advice is stay consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. All 50, if you have 50 bad days, then you're just 50 days closer to a good day.
Exactly.
How do people get in touch with you, man? How do agents book a call with you? How do contractors book a call with you? How do we get in touch?
I mean, they can get in touch with me from my Instagram. It's Barlas, Isbarlas. And they can go to my website. Right now it's under construction, but social flow does.
Awesome. And then anybody listening, as usual, will be in the show notes below. If you want to go check him out, make sure to let them know that we sent you and to make sure to show him all the love in the world. He deserves it. Ismail, we loved having you on, man. You're the man.
You and it's 45 minutes and I feel like it was an amazing talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. And then we want to check in with you halfway through the year to see where you're at those goals.
All right, let's see.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.